Hey, everybody.
Hey.
All right, we are at the end of our Epic Universe trip. We've had 2 days in Epic Universe at the technical rehearsals and like previews, like right before the grand opening
Yeah.
of Epic Universe. So we wanted to give a little review of our time here, sort of do a ranking of
Based on what we were able to
yeah,
experience.
and this could change. What we experienced obviously is a time. It was a lot of things, being experimented with, like some of the rides were down a lot, or some of them might have had things not working and things like that. So this could change in the future, but our experience, we just wanted to share.
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to go over three things today, right?
Yeah. So we kind of broke it down into three categories. So we're going to start with kind of the restaurants and food and beverage experience of Epic Universe.
Yeah.
Then we're going to talk about our ranking of rides based on what we were able to ride.
Yep.
And then last but not least, certainly not least, we're going to do our official ranking of the worlds as they are today.
Yeah.
So
let's start with restaurants, right?
Dive in. I made notes.
Yeah, we got notes here on a little Stella Nova notepad.
Okay.
So yeah, this is going to be the restaurant experience. So this will be sort of encompassing both the sort of the theming and the ambiance of the restaurant itself and the food. So kind of like a combo of both things, right? So we're going to start from the bottom of what we tried, right?
Yes. Number 6 was Toadstool Cafe.
Yeah, and this is in Super Nintendo World. Very good theming.
The theming is so cute.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Very good theming. We didn't try like a full like array of menu ones. That Marissa had the mushroom soup.
Yeah,
which was good. I had like a really good dessert. It was like the green green pole cake. Beanpole cake, and that was nice. I think just compared to some of the other restaurants, the caliber, like the food's not as good.
Not as good.
Because like spoiler alert, food knocks it out of the park in this in Epic Universe. It's really good.
They set a really high bar.
The bar's very high, and
we had that lemon squash drink too.
Lemon squash was nice. Yeah, everything was nothing bad about it. Like definitely, especially if you're a Nintendo fan, like it's definitely worth going to, and we enjoyed it. It wasn't bad. It was just the lower of the ones for us.
And one thing that was a negative point for Grant in particular is because it's the Mushroom Kingdom and it's the Toadstool Cafe. A lot of the dishes are mushroom based.
Yeah.
So if you're not a fan of mushrooms, it can be a little hard to find something that doesn't include that.
And I think you can like say you don't want mushrooms and things, but some things are like based around mushrooms. So it's like you can get a burger, it has mushrooms on it. I think you can just say no mushrooms. That's fine. But there's definitely a limited menu for people that aren't mushroom fans. So that's me.
All right. Coming in at number 5. This is Cafe L'air de la Serene in the Wizarding World.
Yeah, the Ministry of Magic.
Ministry of Magic area. I don't even know what to call that land, which we'll get to in a little bit.
I think it is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic.
Okay.
Is technically what
official
they've called
world?
it. Okay. Even though the world isn't the Ministry of Magic. It's it's France.
We'll get into that later. That's for a separate part of this video. Okay. So again, the look and styling of this place is so beautiful. It really does feel like you are in a super fancy cafe in Paris.
And it's not, and it's not like even like a sit down, like need reservations. It's quick serve, but it feels very fancy. But it was lovely. Everything about this place was great. You can sit outside. It looks like you're on the streets of Paris. Like it's cafe feel.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So here I think we just got the lavender lemonade, the plum drink,
dirigible plum juice, which they were great.
They were both delicious. And then you got the butterbeer crepe.
The butterbeer crepe, which I loved. It was great, very sweet, but like it's I think it's worth trying. It's definitely like I really liked it. I think the only real reason it's a little lower on our list is the food is a little almost too fancy for a theme park.
It's French food.
It's like real French food. That we probably would have tried some of the stuff if we were here longer. Yeah, we would have tried more things, but they didn't appeal to us sort of at the time. That were kind of like, we wanted to try some other stuff that was sort of more our jam. But I think a lot of people will go here and be like, I don't really want to eat
They're going to get the butter beer crepe and bounce.
Yeah.
I think.
Which I think is also fine to do. Like, as I said, it's just a quick serve place. You go in, you just scan your stuff and get your stuff quickly. So it's not like, it's not going to take too much time to just go in and try butterbeer crepe.
Yeah. Also, the name is a little bit of a mouthful.
It is a real mouthful.
Especially because it's French.
But no, it's still solid, very solid. As I said, nothing was bad in Epic Universe.
Bad.
So it was just lower on our preference list.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Coming in at number 4, surprise contender, Pizza Moon.
Pizza Moon, yeah. That was a shock, this one. We didn't even think we were going to go to Pizza Moon. We actually got through our list of food preference, like our must-have food items fairly quickly. And we got to dinner on the last day and we're kind of like, we're going to try something new. And so we tried Pizza Moon. And spoiler alert, Marissa is a little bit fussy when it comes to pizza and sort of pasta. Because she's like, one, she does pasta very well. Like, we eat pasta a lot at home. But you're pretty pizza fussy.
Yeah, I'm really picky about pizza. I won't get into it, but yeah,
she's from New Jersey, so she's like, you know.
I have high standards. So Pizza Moon, I got the baked vodka sauce pasta. I forget what it was called. It was really good. It was a cheese-filled pasta, which is normally not my thing, and I think if it had just been like a baked rigatoni vodka sauce kind of thing, I would have liked it better. It just like wasn't my personal taste. I was going outside my comfort zone.
Yeah.
But it was objectively very, very good. It's just not my preference.
Yeah. And I got one of their pizzas, and this was like, this was also sort of a bit out of my comfort zone. I got like, it had like arugula, it had sausage, pepperoni, chilies, peppers, hot honey, very spicy. Yeah. It was great, like baked really well. Like, you know, they have actual real pizza ovens, like wood-fired pizza ovens in there.
Yeah.
So like very high quality, and like it was actually pretty good like we actually probably could have split one of the pizzas.
Yeah.
Nothing in Epic Universe is cheap when it comes to food, so it's expensive like everything else, but I think the pizzas were about $18, so you actually could have probably split it between two and been okay.
Yeah. A note on that pizza though, it is quite spicy.
Very spicy.
It is spicier than you would expect for a theme park. So if you are not a spicy person, I would just
you can get one of the other options.
Avoid that
one. There was actually like, maybe 8 different pizza varieties. It was a lot of different options.
They have a lot of different options.
Yeah, but the theming in that restaurant was great.
So
process was good. It was quick, like everything else in Epic. Everything was quick and easy. No lining up, all that kind of stuff. It was very good. Yeah, but at Pizza Moon, surprise ranking here.
Yeah,
it was a good one.
Yeah. Number 3, Goblet Noir in the Wizarding World area. We love this one.
Yeah, like we ended up going there a few times. Like the first time we went,
being drawn to it.
First time we went, we just went for drinks at the end of the night on our first day, and because they have just a nice sort of range of beers and specialty cocktails and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like an awesome
space
that's like themed very well. It's like, it's very kind of like, it's a nice place to go to get out of the heat too. It's very air conditioned and dark and very like, you can just sit and chill and relax in there, and it doesn't seem loud or like there's nothing.
It felt like, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It felt like people hadn't found that one yet. It was probably the most empty.
Yeah, it was because it's in the little dark alley of like the Harry Potter area. So I think some people might pass it by because it doesn't look like it's much.
Yeah. I had the only food we actually ate there. I got the goulash yesterday, which is goulash over egg noodles with like a good crusty roll. It was really good. It was surprisingly really good. There were other food items.
There was actually quite a few items on the menu. We just didn't get time.
Didn't have time.
They had a Jaeger schnitzel. They had some like sandwiches that looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Just like really like hearty kind of pub food, which looked good.
But like Central European
like
pub
German
food,
and
which is kind of one of my notes is we love the aesthetic that's in there. We just said that, but
it's weird.
It's weird.
It just feels out of place. Kind of like everything in that world. It's a little like
doesn't make sense.
A little weird that like it's not French
it's like German Central European, which I love.
Yeah.
But in the context of that world, it doesn't make sense.
It is meant to be sort of like dark wizards and stuff, so I don't know if maybe do the dark wizards in France come from other European countries?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
We don't know. Maybe there's an explanation in the Fantastic Beasts movies for
yeah,
this place.
Again, we'll come back to this.
That
when
might
we
be
talk
a
about
little
the
gone
worlds.
over our head. But no, Goblet Hour was a good place. It was always a place we sort of thought about going back to. It would definitely go back to if we had the choice.
Number 2.
Yep.
Mead Hall in Isle of Berk.
Yeah, I love the Mead Hall.
Oh, we love the Mead Hall. One, this just the theming and the aesthetic is incredible.
Yeah.
We have actually been to a Norwegian Viking style brewery and beer hall.
Yeah.
And it is on theme park sizing.
Yeah. It's massive.
It's massive.
Even from the outside, this is most of the restaurants here are like look small on the outside and then big on the inside. This is big on the outside and big on the inside. Yeah. It's like a massive. It's the giant structure, the mountain you see in Berk.
Yeah.
That is the Mead Hall. You go in and everything is just larger than life kind of thing. Like it's like giant chairs, giant tables, giant pillars, and tapestries on the wall, like paintings and stuff. And it's just everything is massive, including the portions here.
Yeah.
This is like as I said, still expensive like everything else, but portion size wise, everything is really good value. It's Viking sized. Yeah, it's Viking size. Like giant. I got the giant turkey wings and. What did you get? I got
the Swedish meatballs.
The Swedish meatballs, which was a very good portion as well.
Good. Yeah.
They have a lot of good options. There's like sausage and there's like a big platter you can get for like, I think it's like $50 and it can feed multiple people.
There's a salmon dish that we've heard really good things about.
Mm-hmm. It's just very well the theming combined with the quality of the food here, it just worked so well.
The food really matched the theming to an incredible level.
Yeah. As I said, and then like the turkey wing I had was not even like the best food item I've eaten, but I just like it's exactly what you think you should be eating, like a giant hunk of meat, and you're just like eating it. Like, it's like it just feels like you're a Viking, and it fits the world super well. Yeah, I really enjoyed the Mead Hall, just as an overall experience. Yeah, but
and
there's one.
Number 1.
There's one that's better.
Number 1, Das Steakhouse in Dark Universe.
Yeah, this was. So good. Like everything about Das Steakhouse was perfect. Like the theming is the best.
Off the charts.
The best in the entire park. Like it is. You're going inside like this. Like it's basically like Dracula's. Sort of
if Dracula had a tavern he hung out at, it's Das Steakhouse.
Yeah. And everything like the chairs have bats on them. There's
the napkins are red and the silverware is. The flatware is black.
It's black. There's this. There's like vampires on the walls and stuff, and there's even like every like maybe 10 minutes or so, the room just goes red, and it's like you're gonna like get attacked or something. Yeah. It just felt very ominous. Yeah. Even the servers will be like, "Enjoy your meal. It's gonna be your last."
It was so good, but also I think the food was the best. It
was very good. Yeah, the blood orange chicken burger was really good that I had, but that pork belly was.
Oh, the pork belly was so good.
Like they had that like blood sauce they put on it.
Yeah, I honestly wish there was a little bit more glaze than they did. Yeah, but
that pork belly like.
So
It's a theme park, and like pork belly like that is just that's crazy. Yeah. And like it felt kind of like a fancy restaurant in there. Like it felt like very. As I said, all of these places have been quick serve. You just go in, scan a QR code on the table, they bring your food out to you. Yeah. So,
but it doesn't feel quick serve.
No, it's just optimized to be the sort of the most efficient it can be, and that's how it is.
But what's really nice about it is you don't feel it's called quick service because like you order on the app and they bring it to you. You don't have proper table service, but you also don't feel rushed. You can hang as long as you want. Yeah,
and there's no tipping or anything like that either, which is kind of good because it's like they don't even give you an option in the app. You just order something and it's ready. Yeah. Like that's all you have to do. So because that can add up, especially because like the table, there's only a couple of like sit down full service options here at Epic, and they're even more expensive. But like honestly, I would feel like it's kind of inefficient going to one of those restaurants because this quick service system is just like blown me away at how great it is.
They really nailed.
Like we never like this. Obviously, there's a maybe it might be slightly slower when parks at full capacity if these places are full.
Yeah.
But like our experience of it, we went in, ordered our food. It was no more than like 5 minutes, basically ever.
Yeah, and we never had a problem like getting a seat or anything like that.
Mm-mm. And like it gives you I really like the fact that you could just go into one of these places, sit down, take your time. Like you can spend a few minutes looking at the menu. There's no one rushing you. And you can finish your meal and you just sit there as long as you need to get out of the heat, the Florida heat. And like it made the whole process very nice and smooth. But definitely nothing was bad. We loved all the restaurants. Dust Steakhouse was just at the top of our preferences.
All right, we got 2 honorable mentions though.
Honorable mentions, yes. My one, because you didn't really eat here, I ate here, was Spitfire Grill. This could also extend to Hooligans Grog and Gruel. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can get these awesome mac and cheese cones that I had. You can see that in the second day 2 vlog of Epic Universe. I really enjoyed that. This was not like a full restaurant experience, so we didn't really want to mention it as a main thing. But you can, once again, you can order on the app. You just go pick it up and eat. You can eat. They've got like a nice undercover area at Spitfire Grill.
That was pretty big.
Yeah, and it looks out over a fire drill, so you see people like sort of on the water ride. It's kind of fun, but definitely worth as a quick sort of grab and go like meal. I really enjoyed that in Isle of Berk.
Yeah, the other one we wanted to mention was the Meteor Astropub. Now, this is a full restaurant.
Yeah.
Like a full quick service restaurant, like the other ones that we ranked. However, we didn't get food here, so it didn't seem fair to try and include it in our ranking.
But everything looked we saw
all the food looked really good.
A lot of burgers and stuff here, so very like pub food. It was a lot of burgers, and the burgers looked really good. So definitely honorable mention. We'll definitely try in the future.
Yeah, and there is a full bar inside. So if you just want to go sit at a bar, that's a place where you can go do it. Yeah, we just had a couple beers, I think.
Yeah, but I think we actually got through most of the restaurants. So there was a few more in Celestial Park that we didn't get to try, but we got most of the big restaurants in all the worlds. So I think that's our sort of rankings there.
Yeah.
But
right. Next section.
Okay.
Rides. Obviously, we're coming to a theme park. We want to talk about the rides. Because we were here in the preview time during technical rehearsal, not all of the rides were operating when we were here. So we will not be able to talk about Curse the Werewolf or Battle at the Ministry.
Yeah.
There were also a few other rides that we
just
didn't get a chance to do or chose not to. Fire Drill, which is the water ride in Isle of Berk.
Yep.
Dragon Racers Rally we didn't do because we don't do that kind of rotating stuff very well.
Yeah, bit of motion sickness, so I skipped that one.
And then the carousel we just skipped because of time.
So this will be between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rides. So okay, let's start at the bottom.
Yep.
Our least favorite might be a bit controversial. I don't know.
I don't think this is that controversial.
I think some other people have this opinion. Lowest on our rank is Mario Kart.
It was really just...
Yeah, it was the queue, fantastic.
The first 90% of the queue is fantastic.
Oh yeah. So the theming, you're going through Bowser's Castle. It's a complete, like you're in a video game. It's like it's great. Like the theming of that is like perfect. Then it gets to the end of the queue where you're lining up for however long you're doing it. It was about an hour for us, and they cram like 200 people in this like pre-show room.
Yeah.
Everyone's squashed in there and they're like playing the instructions of how to do the ride.
So
loud. Everything is turned up to like 15 out of 10. And it's like just blaring like these noises and stuff at you. And you're all squashed in this room, and then they open gates and they cram everyone back into a line, and it's chaos in there. Because people like obviously they're trying to get in, they're trying to stay in the group, they're trying to push in front, and it just causes chaos after an orderly line, which is really weird and odd. It's just that's something we don't like about some rides. That happens in multiple rides around parks. Like it happens at Disney and stuff too in some rides, and it just was really unorganized. So like I don't know, maybe they need to limit that.
I also need to turn down the sound.
Turn down the sound and maybe limit the amount of people they're letting into that pre-show room, because it was just chaos. And
and the ride itself,
the ride itself is kind of weird.
It's just weird. Yeah.
It's like, I think the actual ride itself is fine. Like you get into a car and it kind of moves around and goes through. And it seems like the actual physical parts of the ride are kind of cool.
Yeah.
But you get this little hat you put on that you then put a visor on, and it's an augmented reality, like other racers are around you and you have to shoot them with your Cooper shells and stuff. And they're just like out of place. Those are the thing on your visual screen is blocking essentially everything. This could just be a dark room and it would be the same
experience.
You're so focused on what's on this screen in front of you.
Yeah.
That is a little disorientating. And then it's combined with you have to steer and shoot and then move your head around. And it's just stimulation overload.
Yeah, it was just too much.
I would prefer if this was like no visor and it was more like a kind of like Men in Black at Universal Studios or like Buzz Lightyear at Disney.
Or Spider-Man.
Or Spider-Man, like the web shooter one, where it's like either a screen,
really
a screen or a physical thing to shoot your like object at.
Yeah.
Because I felt like the screen was taking away from the ride.
Yeah, a little bit.
So yeah, it just wasn't great.
So between just kind of the oddness of how that was executed and also that last bit of the queue, this one earns last place for us.
And the last note on that ride is it's very much like the rest of Super Nintendo World. It's so loud. The entire ride, the speakers there's like speakers behind your head that are just blaring. It is the loudest place on earth. Like it is so loud in this world and this ride in particular.
Yeah.
If you have like audio sensory issues, it's just a nightmare.
Rough.
It's a nightmare.
It's really rough. Okay.
Yeah.
So next. This one might be controversial.
This could be controversial, and I'm really disappointed that this is so low for us.
You were really excited.
I was thinking this was going to be my favorite ride of the park, and this is subjective though. And this is Stardust Racers.
Yep.
This, was my most anticipated ride. I was coming in. I like roller coasters a lot, and like Velocicoaster is probably up there as one of my favorite rides of all time. And the reason why I love Velocicoaster so much, like Jurassic Park aside, and I love Jurassic Park, but is the fact that it's very fast and intense, but smooth, and I don't get motion sickness on it. And I think like a lot of people share that opinion. It's a very fast, intense ride, but they did something so good about it that you didn't feel sick or shaken or like sort of worn out after riding an intense roller coaster.
Yeah.
And I really rank that highly as like, I want to have fun and I want to feel good after riding a ride.
Yeah, you feel like thrilled after. You don't feel sick.
It's like exhilarating and you feel a rush and you're excited. This was it was way more intense than we anticipated.
And we did the yellow track. There's a yellow track and a green track. You can pick which one you're on. And the yellow one is supposed to be the less intense of the two. And that's what we rode. And we both felt like shaken around the entire time.
Yeah.
We both got out of that ride and basically collapsed onto a bench and had to take Advil because we literally felt like our skulls had been rattled.
Yeah, it was, I think the main culprit of this was it was too long.
Yeah.
I think it goes through a couple of launches at the beginning, and I felt like that first half of the ride
was great.
I was a little shaken. Like it was a bit more rattly than I thought, but it then just goes and goes and goes and goes, and you're kind of like, I want this to end. I want this to end. And just in our personal experience, and like we saw a few people around us sort of had the same opinion. It was just a bit too, we just didn't feel good after it.
Yeah, we didn't I
didn't want to ride it again.
Thrilled.
I didn't want to ride it again. You know?
Yeah, you just kind of were like, well, that's the thing I survived.
Yeah. And
which is not what I want to feel after a ride.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that is lower on our list.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It's disappointing. All right. Next, this is a nostalgic one for you.
Yeah. This is next on our list is Yoshi's Adventure in Super Nintendo World. This one, it's like not the most like thrilling ride. The complete opposite of Stardust Racers.
It's the most relaxing ride.
The most relaxing. It is just like a dark, slow moving ride, but it just captures everything. Like if you've ever played like Yoshi's Island on the Super Nintendo, it captures everything in the queue and on the ride. It's just like a complete like nostalgia trip. And so for me, this one was just fun. Yeah. And I think it's the perfect ride to sort of get a great view of Super Nintendo World.
Yeah.
So it goes outside quite a lot. And it's kind of like the people mover at Magic Kingdom and Disney. It's like, it kind of shows you the world while you're on this ride.
And again, we've talked about like Super Nintendo World is a little overstimulating. And so it's a good way to kind of get yourself back down to a good level without leaving the land. So.
Yeah. But yeah, and it's great for everyone, this ride. So like little kids, perfect. It's nice and slow. But for adults, it's especially if you're a Nintendo fan, it was fun. Right. Yeah.
Next, the last ride from Super Nintendo World is Minecart Madness.
Yeah, this was fun.
I loved this ride.
Yeah, it was so great fun.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's not too intense.
Not intense at all. I think like kids can do this fine.
This is a really great, if you like, it's like a Thunder Mountain Railroad level. It's really good for like, not like a kiddie roller coaster, but you want your kid to have like their first like kind of bigger roller coaster. I think this is a really good one to start with. Yeah,
and I think it captures like Donkey Kong really well. Like it's like being on the game. It's like those minecart levels where you're going through, and it just has a really cool system where it's kind of got a fake track that you're on, so it looks like the track's actually underneath, and the track, it's going around by that, and it looks like you're about to go over like broken tracks, and it's just really fun. It's pretty short, so it's a nice little burst of adrenaline, and then it's over. So it's nothing. It's not going to be at like the top of my list, but it was a fun ride.
It's just fun.
Definitely going to do it again. The main reason it wasn't sort of high, like the highest on our list, was because of the queue theming wasn't fantastic either. Yeah. It was kind of, compared to Mario Kart. Yeah. They kind of phoned in the rest of it.
And we had heard that people thought this ride was really shaky. I didn't think it was at all.
I didn't either. It was very smooth for me.
Yeah, it was really smooth.
Yeah, okay. Solid.
Next, this was somehow both my most anticipated and the ride I was most scared of.
Yeah.
Monsters Unchained in Dark Universe.
This is at number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah.
I was really nervous about this one because I don't do well with strobing light effects.
Yeah.
So we were really careful the first time we did it. We rode this ride twice.
Yeah.
And
so the first time that we knew from watching ahead of time that there was a particular room in the queue that has some very strobe light effects. And it's like electricity going through the castle kind of room. Yeah. So we were a little concerned, like Marissa really could have like closed their eyes.
And I kept my sunglasses on too.
And I guided her through this part of the queue. You went through it on the second time, that part of the queue, and you were a little better.
I was,
But definitely be careful if you do have a medical sensitivity. Either avoid this ride for that queue or ask someone if you sort of are particularly concerned. We don't recommend doing it, but take your own judgment here.
Yeah. But the ride itself, the story is fantastic. The theming is fantastic. The ride mechanism is so fun.
Yeah, if you want to, if you compare it, it would be similar to Forbidden Journey, the Harry Potter ride in Islands of Adventure.
Not without the swaying motion.
It's a little less intense than that. Yeah. I would say it's actually pretty like tame. I would say this ride.
Yeah.
It didn't like trigger any motion sickness for me. The opposite of Forbidden Journey, some of the problem is it's very warm on that ride. There's a lot of fire and heat. Yeah. This is super cool, and they've got like a lot of cool, like there's even like some water that gets on your lips at one point. But no, this story, I would just say, just for the story alone, this was really good. There's some really good, very high quality screen effects that are like super clear. You can just see this is like the cutting edge of like the screen technology. Yeah. But a lot of animatronics. So it's really good. Yeah.
And so we rode this one twice. The first time, all the animatronics were working. The second time, 2 were down. It was Igor at the beginning, and then there's a mummy that pops out at you. And honestly, if I'd nenever ridden it before, I wouldn't have noticed the mummy was broken. Igor, you can't not notice because he's like talking. But I even with 2 not working the second time, I liked it better the second time around just because like you get to...
Yeah, I think it's
there's so much going on. Every time you ride it, you're going to see something else, I think.
Yeah, I think you need to ride this ride at least twice to get a real sense of the story, because there's just so much going on, you kind of don't fully grasp it the first time.
But it's just so much fun. Like, I find both times, I was just like grinning the entire time. It's just fun. Yeah. It's just a really fun ride.
It's fun, and it's just, I think it... just kind of like, I don't know. It's just an overall experience of storytelling in a ride that's great. Like not many rides have a good story. And I think this one does a pretty good job of like it's just interesting and
Yeah.
overall.
I feel like for anyone that was really into like the Underworld movies or that Van Helsing movie, like all those kind of vampire-y, werewolfy movies that came out in like the early 2010s, if you liked those, you will love this ride. It hits very much that sweet spot.
Yeah, and it's a great ride for the world itself too. Like the castle it's in from the outside is really impressive.
Yeah, the queue's amazing.
Yeah. I'd say the only thing was it's not intense, which I kind of like. But if you're going in there wanting a real intense ride, it's actually not. It's not
intense.
Very intense.
Yeah.
But all right, our favorite ride, and as I said, a lot of people's favorite ride is Battle of the Ministry. We didn't get to do this.
Yep.
So take that with
whatever size salt grain you would like.
With a grain of salt, yeah. But your favorite ride was Hiccups Wing Gliders in Isle of Berk. It is so good.
It's so good.
This is like the perfect roller coaster in terms of like fun,
but thrill.
A little bit of story and a little bit thrilling. It's just like, no, it's not like a Velocicoaster or a Stardust Racers. It's not going to be like the most diehard coaster.
It's like the higher side of like a medium.
Yeah, I'd say this is like a perfect mixture between Slinky Dog Dash at Hollywood Studios. It's kind of like a little bit more intense than that, but a little less intense than maybe like Hagrid's Motorbike.
I actually think it's more intense than Hagrid's. It just doesn't have the things that bother you.
That's true. Hagrid's has a lot of like backwards motion, which I didn't love.
Yeah.
For sort of like a motion sickness kind of perspective. But no, it's thrilling. And what I said to Marissa is, I think this is the perfect roller coaster where you can just like throw your hands up in the air the whole time.
And just have fun.
And it makes you feel like you're flying around this track. And there's a little bit of story, like you see Toothless, like a giant animatronic of
Hiccup and Toothless. Yeah.
And yeah, it's
just fun.
We rode it twice. We were about to ride it 3 times and we didn't because the line got too long after a show. But it was like, I would ride this all day. Like, it is so good.
It's so fun. You can probably ride it 3 times and feel fine.
Yeah.
We loved it.
It was just a real fun ride, a real surprise. A real surprise for me.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I think it was one of those ones we weren't like really thinking about and then got on it and loved it. And again, loved it even more the second time.
Yeah. And it's just, and it seemed to always have like a reasonable wait time as well. I don't think this is going to be, it's probably not at the top of everyone's list going there first time. So I think it's never going to be the longest queue in the park, which is kind of nice too, because it's like, I can.
But they can easily run multiple cars at one time. So the line moves really quickly.
It seemed to always move faster than some of the other lines, which was good. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Last section of this grand review of Epic Universe.
The worlds.
The worlds.
Yeah. So this is encompassing all 5 worlds. So 4 outer worlds. So the 4 outer worlds and the 1 inner hub world of Celestial Park.
And this is kind of the most important part because when they introduced Epic Universe, they really made a big deal of this hub universe and then the portals off of it. So let's dive in. All right, we're going to do again, as we've done the rest of this, from our least favorite to our most favorite.
Yeah.
And I don't think, based on what we've said so far, this shouldn't really hold any major surprises.
Yeah, so the bottom of our list is Super Nintendo World. This was disappointing because I am a big Nintendo fan. I do have nostalgia for this kind of world. I
also love Nintendo.
Our main issues, which we covered in our vlog, our day 2 vlog of this, it was so noisy.
It's so overstimulating.
Everything about of all the worlds, it's very enclosed too. It feels very like kind of like you're surrounded by everything. It feels very
cramped.
It's cramped. It's not open, and it's the busiest. So when we were there too, but it's not even the bit like it's fine. We're in a theme park where we're used to crowds. Everything, is turned up to like 12, and there's so much stimulation thrown everywhere. It's just things, sound.
They want it to be a full sensory experience, which I get, but they tipped the scales to be overstimulating in a way that wasn't pleasant.
Yeah.
And so starting out, when you go into the portal.
The portal's
fun. The portal is really cool. You go up an escalator, up the pipe, and you hear the the Mario pipe sounds, which I'm not going to try and replicate. But that's just like a really cool, and you get so excited and you walk into Peach's castle and then you're just immediately overwhelmed.
Yeah, like we had to, one, it's not good for vlogging because it is so loud and noisy, so copyright hell. So we couldn't even talk in there to show everyone around. But we had to leave the world after going on the rides before we started like exploring, and put like, we have these like loop earbuds that are kind of like they deaden sound. They're like just earplugs that deaden sound but let in some. We had to go put earplugs in before we re-entered this park.
Yeah,
it was so overstimulating. And I think like I think even just like as a small child, they would get like almost freaked out at how loud this place is.
Yeah.
It is so much. And like they sort of hype up these like bands that you can get that like, so you can interact with all the things. And that kind of seemed gimmicky when we're in there.
Yeah.
There wasn't like, it's like you can occasionally like hit a little
a couple of times. And the bands are $40.
They're real expensive. And like then you need the app to get all the points for it. And it just felt kind of gimmicky. And I think some of the thing here is that we haven't been to the other parks that have this. So there's like Hollywood and Osaka in Japan have this world. And I don't know if it's the same there, but it just kind of felt like this has been done somewhere before. So it didn't have the originality that the other worlds had. Yep. It's just it's just a carbon copy that might be slightly bigger. Yeah. Because of the room that's here in Florida.
Except the Donkey Kong area is new, right?
That's also in Japan.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, that's now in Japan as well. Okay. So it's all copy and pasted. And like Donkey Kong was also very loud, constant, real loud drums just over and over and over again. And it was just, I don't know, it wasn't our jam. Like some people probably love it, but like in particular, if you get overstimulated by sound, it was kind of a nightmare, honestly. Like it was not fun for that.
Swing and a miss, Universal.
Unfortunately, it is very, very much at the bottom of our list.
Yeah, and like it's not like it's not like fifth is here and fourth is here. It's fifth is down here.
This is a mile below.
And fourth is like up here. Yeah.
It's sorry, Super Nintendo World, not our jam.
Though there's one thing about it that I like, and it's I love the game Pikmin, and there's hidden Pikmin.
Yeah.
So look out for them, and there's one also just outside the world too. So just kind of keep an eye out for that. That's a game you like. It's a fun little Easter egg. Unfortunately, there is no Pikmin merch.
No.
Okay. Now that we're done ranting.
Yeah.
Number 4.
And this one I think will change over time.
Yes.
And move higher. Yep. Because we liked it, felt a little unfinished.
Yep.
Celestial Park. This is the hub world.
Yep.
Great. It's beautiful. Like it's a great park. There's beautiful fountains. There's and it flows pretty easily. Yeah. Like it's very easy to navigate around. I think this will be better in like 2 years. Yeah.
So one of the initial criticisms of Epic Universe once people started being able to get in it was how there's not a lot of shade. And I think a lot of that is coming from Celestial Park because they made nice, beautiful, wide boulevards. And there's no shade, but you can see trees planted along it. But they're baby trees; they're not providing any shade.
It's very hot, it's bright, and
a lot of very bright, wide stretches of concrete with no shade.
Yeah.
So I think in 2 years, when those trees are a little more mature.
Yeah, and like there's a couple of rides like we've talked about them, obviously like Stardust and the carousel, but it's like I feel like there's probably going to be something else maybe there.
Yeah, it just feels like they're gonna add more. Once they've got their feet under them a little bit.
It feels like they're going to have like food festivals and stuff here.
Yeah, it feels like it's designed for like a food and wine festival.
Feels like Epcot kind of. You know how there's a lot of room for food stalls at like food and wine and stuff? It kind of feels like that. I feel like they're going to add stuff to it.
I agree.
And I think it will get better as the park grows.
I think how it is now, it's number 4, but I think that we see the potential in it, that it's not quite finished yet. And so we are anticipating it's going to move up our rankings.
Yeah. Okay. And number 3.
Number 3, the Wizarding World area that we don't know what to call.
Ministry of Magic. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. It's very like as a spectacle. Like you go in, it feels like you're entering like the streets of Paris. Like it's very beautiful.
Yep.
It's as I said, we didn't get quite the whole experience because the ride was not working. But it's kind of like it's kind of an afterthought. It very much there's no denying they built this land to be the Fantastic Beasts world. And then Fantastic Beasts was not popular. And they kind of
and they canceled the rest of the series.
And then last minute, they kind of like pivoted and tried to make it somehow loosely tied to the Harry Potter universe. Like, well, it is the universe, but like the Harry Potter movies and the franchise.
Yep.
So it's like the shops and stuff. When you go into a shop and it's cute, it looks really good from the outside. Then you go in and it's like, oh, it has all the Hogwarts house merch.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense in France.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it's like, it just feels like a weird hodgepodge of Harry Potter universe stuff thrown around.
Yeah.
The show was kind of half-baked. The Cirque Arcanu.
Yeah, there was some really cool staging stuff in there. But again, it felt kind of...
like it had a, like, not to spoil the whole thing, but it's like kind of like, it's around these Fantastic Beasts and...
being captured for a circus.
Being captured for a circus, and they start at the circus, and the whole theming is around the circus.
And they're acknowledging there's an audience here.
Yeah, and then it goes sort of below, they go into like a suitcase, and they go below, like that's captured all these animals, and you see all these magical animals, and then it kind of ends. There was no circus part of the show.
And we were like, wait, what?
It was about 15 minutes or something, and it was just half baked. It was like, oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah. And then this is another area where they shoved 200 people in a pre-show room to actually see pre-show that is part of the show that sets up what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But you're in a room standing there with 200 people, and in our instance, there was a very tall guy in front of us who was also holding his toddler, so we couldn't see anything.
And I think that in just overall, like, it seemed to lack magic. Which is weird for
the magic area.
The magical, like, wizarding world. Like, it was nothing, like, Diagon Alley, you feel like you're in Diagon Alley and the magic is everywhere. This was just like, oh, I'm in Paris. Like, it didn't feel all that magical.
Yeah, and it's very clear that, you know, they anticipated this to be the Fantastic Beasts area. That franchise wasn't popular. It got canceled. It collapsed. They were left scrambling. So they had to rejig some of it to somehow tie it back to Harry Potter. But also that's lost its popularity a lot too in the last 2 to 3 years. So I think it's kind of circumstances beyond their control, and they were just too far along in the design process to retool it.
I also think it's very much this franchise didn't need 3 worlds in 3 theme parks.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it feels like a cash grab. We know this is just going to print money like the other 2 did in Orlando.
But is it going to keep doing that?
I don't know. So, and it's also just it's the main world that it's lacking. It's got 1 ride and 1 show.
Yeah.
So if that ride goes down, or, you know, this ride has been, even they shut it down for the entire week before opening, which when we were here, we knew that in advance. So we're not disappointed. We knew we weren't going to ride it. But when it was open, it was using a virtual queue system, and that was not working very well. A lot of people were missing out. I would anticipate they're going to stay on this virtual queue system. So I think a lot of people are going to miss out on this even when the park is open. And it has had some really bad breakdown. Like the breakdowns were happening constantly because of something to do with the system. And Universal don't have a great track record for rides breaking down. Like Hagrid still breaks down all the time. All the time. So I don't have the highest hopes that it's going to be smooth.
Like, we know we're here in technical rehearsal, and like I take it as a good sign. They shut the ride down for a week. They're like, there's massive issues with this. Hopefully they can recalibrate it and fix some of those performance issues. But I think this world as a whole is just kind of a mess, and I don't think it's entirely Universal's fault. I think they made some decisions early on in the design process and then couldn't back out of them. Even when the environment around this franchise changed.
So
that sucks. Like, that sucks. But either way.
But it has some good restaurants and stuff too. Like, it's definitely worth visiting.
Like one of our favorite restaurants was in there.
But yeah.
And we're still ranking it 3 out of 5.
It is still 3 out of 5. It's not the bottom, but I think at some point Celestial Park might bump up.
Yeah, I think it and Celestial Park.
We actually did have
places.
a dilemma of how we were ranking these two. We only gave it just because it's a little more. It's finished more than Celestial Park.
All right, number 2.
Dark Universe.
I was so excited for this land. It's so cool.
It is really cool. It's definitely like the most different world that they've ever kind of made.
Yeah.
It's like a very different, like a very dark, scary, like it's like kind of like it's like a Halloween Horror Nights kind of like
it's going to be really fun around Halloween, I'm sure.
It's just everything from the moment you walk in. There's cool, like there's Igor walks around. He like at one point he even like came in and like knocked me with his boot, like his foot or whatever.
Yeah, he was carrying a limb and he just like
he like pushed me out of the way
with it.
There's like a violinist walks around and like there's really cool theming. Just like you can just walk around this world
and explore,
looking in the windows
details.
and super cool. It has a great. We didn't get to do the Curse of the Werewolf, but it has a great ride in Monsters Unchained. The food's really good. It has our favorite restaurant, Das Steakhouse.
Yep.
It's just a really cool world. It's probably the smallest.
It is
of the worlds.
Yeah.
Definitely not like you can't spend like all day in here.
Yeah.
But for what the size it is, it just does everything right.
It packs a lot in.
It packs a lot in. That's really cool.
Yep.
And it's just great. The vibe is like really cool.
It has 4 times the amount of theming and storytelling as the wizarding area in a quarter the amount of space.
Yeah. And it seemed to be like kind of like Monsters Unchained actually, funnily enough, always had fairly short wait times. Like I think it's like maybe because it is sort of a darker, scarier place. Maybe not everyone goes to it all the time.
I think also because the track constantly moves.
So
it just like
people
moves
through.
people through pretty quickly.
I think it's just overall really good. They even have like kind of like misters that look like smoke, which is cool too.
Yeah.
It's just a real fun world. That
it's just really fun.
I almost feel like they might do some sort of expansion for it at some point too.
Yeah,
it feels like it might.
Yeah. Because there's several monsters that are kind of represented in the Monsters Unchained ride, but they could do more with them in that.
And there's some merch for some that aren't really around. Like, I didn't think, like there's the Creature from the Black Lagoon, which has no representation.
No, he's in the ride.
Was he in the ride?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, very briefly.
Very briefly.
I feel like some of them are underrepresented.
Yeah.
There might be very briefly represented.
Yeah.
Like there was like werewolves and I guess that's the werewolf ride, sorry. But that wasn't open, that's why we didn't see that. But yeah, the burning blade, like the fiery like windmill, it's just real cool.
It's such a cool world. And I was expecting it to be sensory hell for me, and it really was. It looks worse on camera than it is in person.
Yeah.
I was completely fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this was a really big gamble for them, and it paid off.
Yeah. It's awesome. But there is one world that is head and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah. If 2 is here, 1 is all the way up.
So we had one real below in the basement. And then we have one that is sky high.
Above all the rest. I'm going to put my notes down. I don't even need them anymore.
And we talked about this a bit yesterday at the end of our second vlog. Isle of Berk.
Isle of Berk, man.
So good. From every point. Like, it is just from the start, like, you enter this world and it just takes your breath away. Mm-hmm. You enter this Viking world, some giant Viking statues and a mountain in front of you, the water, like, it's just visually beautiful.
Stunning. Visually stunning. Every little nook and cranny is themed to the nines. There's little dragons and buckets of fish and like dragon tails hanging out of things.
Yeah, there's characters walking around. There's just so much theming everywhere. I would say it is the most complete world in Epic Universe from every perspective.
It has 3 rides. It has 3 food places.
It has a show.
And a show.
Which is phenomenal. The show is amazing.
Yeah.
It has our favorite ride in Hiccup's Wing Gliders, but it also has a water ride, and it has the other dragon
ride.
It's like, got so much from that perspective. It's got stuff for kids. There's like a Viking training camp.
Which is like a little play area.
There's a meet and greet with Toothless.
Yep.
Like, there's multiple gift shops. There's the mead hall, which is amazing. Like, it's got so much. This is probably the only world I feel like I could probably spend all day in.
Yeah. Easily
all
could spend
day.
all day. Yep.
Because it's like there's so much in there.
Yeah, and what we were saying if you have not seen our last video, kind of what we were saying as we walked out of the park, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a quick thing, and then we talked about it for 10 minutes. So we won't need to dive in too much again. But what it did that I don't think I've ever seen in any other land, anywhere, at any other park I've ever been to, is it took a franchise that I have no emotional connection to and built that emotional connection and made me fall in love with that world and those characters. And I've never experienced that anywhere else. Like, I think the closest I can compare it to is like Pandora in Animal Kingdom, which is beautiful and has one of my all-time favorite rides, but I still don't walk away like in love with it.
Yeah, I'm like, I still don't really like the movies, and like I don't really care for them all that much.
But now I want to go home and I want to watch everything How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
I want to watch all the movies. I want to watch the show.
We've seen the first movie and we're like, it was fine, it was cute. And then now we're like, oh yeah, we love these characters and we want to explore this world more. Yeah, I think a lot of other things, especially at Universal, taps into your nostalgia for something, your existing love of a place. Like, I love Nintendo. I love Universal Monsters.
I love the Harry Potter
I love
stuff.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And this is like, obviously there are some people that probably love How to Train Your Dragon, but I wouldn't say it's like that popular, right? It's a franchise they have that is probably their best bet at like animation. Like,
this was, I think, to invest clearly so much into this world. Again, another big gamble.
And it could be that they're like kind of, I think they were banking on this being popular to then boost I think the live action stuff's coming out soon. There's going to be a reboot of like the live action version of it.
Yep.
It was probably to do that. I mean, I guess it kind of did that. Like, it got us loving the series. So we'll probably see that now. Like, everything about it just made me a fan of.
It's the place that we're going to come back in a couple years and walk in and like cry. Yeah. Like, it's gonna build that nostalgia for us. And to be able to take something that we didn't have an emotional connection to and then have us sit in this theater with like a dragon ridden over our heads and like crying. Yeah. That is one heck of an accomplishment.
Yeah, because it's like got one of the best shows I've ever seen. It's got fantastic food. Yeah. It's got the best ride in the park, in my opinion. Caveat, we haven't done one of the others. But it just hit everything out of the park. It was top of every list. Everything I want to talk about Epic Universe is probably going to come down to like Isle of Berk.
Yeah, and I think if you are a theme park designer or in House of Mouse and Imagineer, like this reaction that we're talking about, like that is the ultimate goal, and they did it. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had quite that experience at a theme park before.
No, it's so good, and just well done, whoever designed Isle of Berk.
Yeah, you could really see like it was a labor of love for people that did it. Yeah, there were so many cute little touches throughout.
Yeah. It's as I said, we talked about it a lot last night, like in the other vlog too. So I don't want to repeat ourselves too much, but it's just hands down, it is the best world in Epic Universe right now. Yeah, I think that's our main categories. That's our rankings. But overall, I think we had a fantastic time here. Obviously, we were in preview times. It's going to be a little different. We were very lucky. We got to come here before it opened, so we were very lucky where we didn't I think queues were a little shorter and stuff like that, but we were unlucky in the fact that some things were down. So there's hits and misses of being here this time. But I enjoyed the fact that it gave us some time to explore, and I think definitely this is a 2-day park. Because like
it's just a lot.
You want to experience some of the stuff in these worlds. Like if you just want to do the rides, 1 day is fine. But I think if you want to really truly feel immersed in these worlds, the second day just to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, I was really glad we kind of did the second day, and it was funny. A friend of ours texted me this morning and was like, "Oh, you're in Orlando. I saw your Instagram. We're heading there now. Is it worth going to Epic in the preview?" And I was like, "Yes, do it."
Yeah, it's great. Like, the food was the best I've had at a theme park before. Like, it was so good. It's just very different. I think it's hands down the best Universal park. No.
Oh my gosh, it's not even close.
Yeah. We loved it.
Yeah. So on a scale of 1 to 10, based on the experience we had.
Yeah, like it's a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it. Like, it's, I don't know. I think I'd still rank Tokyo Disney Sea as my favorite theme park
Okay.
ever, kind of
All right.
thing. But this is going to be up there and challenging it.
How close is it to Disney Sea?
It's pretty close, I
Yeah.
think, in terms of the spectacle. I think the only reason that is I think that's been built up.
It's had time to look.
It's had time.
Yeah.
It's had time. It's been there quite a while now. It was something I was sort of so looking forward to. I had all these expectations and it met them.
Yeah.
And it's got some properties that I really love and like, but
yeah, Universal Park isn't going to have Tangled. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I reserve judging it against Disney Sea just because I was very sick when we were at Disney Sea.
We need to go back and do more of it.
Yeah.
To have a proper full judgment too. We were there for one day. But anyway, we're not talking about
We're not talking about
now.
Disney Sea.
But this is probably one of the best parks in the US at the very least. Right? It's up there.
Is it the best?
It could be. I don't know. Need to think about it.
It's got potential to be the best. There's
Yeah.
obviously they're still tweaking some things. Some things are unfinished, but I think
we need to see how the park works in the actual open times too.
Yeah,
it could be very different in the middle, like when there's 20,000 people here.
Yeah.
And the lines are like all
but
2
it's
to
very,
3 hours long.
It's very clear some things are unfinished intentionally so, and there's room for it to grow into itself.
They're going to do expansions.
And I think when it gets to that, it's going to be incredible.
They're already doing expansion. Like you can tell that they're going to be doing expansions for this at some point.
There's hints.
Yeah. But anyway, that wraps up. I think this was a wonderful, wonderful trip here to Epic Universe. We loved it.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. And if you didn't watch the other videos, make sure you go back and watch our 2 days that we had here. If you want to see
It was so much fun.
forming our opinions that you saw today. And yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can follow along on our future travels.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye.
See you next time.